Okay, I got it.
Okay, we are live.
All right, everybody. Hey, it's Greg Harrelson here, and of course my co-host Abe Safa, and we are here on another Tuesday morning, just sharing some insight as to what we're thinking, of sharing with our agents, coaching our agents, and whatnot, in hopes that we can help fellow Real Geeks members grow their business. So, Abe, I know we want to talk about morning routine. Before we jump into it, Abe, one of the things that I've been thinking about, and quite frankly, I believe I heard Tom Ferry ask this question one time, and it was a series of questions. And the question was something like, what do you need to start doing that you're not doing? What do you need to stop doing currently? What do you need to do more of? And what do you need to do less of? There's kind of four questions. And yesterday I posted on the Real Estate Sales Solutions Facebook page, the two questions. What do we need to start doing? What do we need to stop doing? And it really all comes down to a routine. And is your routine helping you or is it hurting you? And just to kick us off and stimulate the conversation, a routine that helps you is when the routine consists of something that's working for you, meaning helping you get business, and it's predictable and it's duplicatable. So to me, a solid routine that's helping you is a routine that is predictable, duplicatable, and it's getting you a result. In other words, you're getting a result and you can repeat it and duplicate it at any time. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, first of all, those four questions, going through that process that Tom came up with, I love that. I think that's one of the best things he's ever come up with. I think it's very powerful. I use it all the time. So just going through that process of asking yourself those four questions and seeing what you come up is a big deal. Now, we've been in a housing recession, since June of last year. Now, what that's caused to happen, you and I, we talk to agents all around the country. A lot of agents have changed their routines.
Yes.
Have changed what they do on a daily basis, have changed what time they get up in the morning, what time they go to the office. So there's a lot of bad habits that were being formed the last 6 months or so. And guess what? The market's rebounding, at least by all appearances. The numbers that we're looking at, the market seems to have bottomed out already and might be on a rebound already. Now, of course, things could go back, but the way things are going, it looks like things are getting back to some sort of normalcy.
Yeah.
Okay. So we thought this would be a good time to have this conversation. Okay. What have you started doing? What does your morning routine look like? Okay. And it's time to get back in the game.
100%. Because, if you're in the game right now, you're actually growing your business.
Yeah.
If you're not growing in your business, you're probably, and this doesn't mean you're lazy or not doing anything, but you're probably not playing the game at a high level. And when Abe and I talk about playing a game at a higher level, usually we're talking about your activities during the day. And then when we break down our day, we always focus on, well, let's break down our morning routine. And then we'll also, can talk about being efficient the rest of our day. So, what are your first thoughts on morning routine?
Yeah. I mean, first thing is, I know some people out there will say, well, I don't have a morning routine. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do.
We do. We all have a morning routine. The question comes down to, is it an intentional routine or is it a reactional routine? Okay. Are you waking up and then kind of seeing where the day takes you and you just kind of reacting all day long? Or are you waking up knowing exactly what time you're going to get up, knowing exactly what you're going to do step by step throughout your morning? Of course, things are always going to come up. Life is going to be full of things that are surprises, right?
You're going to get a curveball.
You're going to get a curveball. Okay. But you at least have to have some sort of format to how your day is going to look like. Right. So you do have a routine. And then we're going to challenge you in this call to actually think about it and come up with something that's going to be powerful. And what we mean by powerful is something that's going to be aligned with what your goals and values are.
Yes. So no matter what, no routine is a routine.
Right.
That's one thing that you're saying. Okay. There's no matter what, no routine. And if people say this, well, I don't really use scripts. And then when they call me, and the way they say hello and how are you, like it's the same every single time. And so we're just like, if you think you don't have a routine, that is your routine. And if you think that if you don't like scripts, so therefore you don't use them, then whatever you're saying is your script. That's just kind of like a rule of thumb. We all have them. It's just whether or not they're actually designed to give us an advantage, or are they designed or not designed and it gives us a disadvantage. That's kind of what it all boils down to at the end of the day. All right. So morning routine, like what should it look like, Abe?
Yeah.
What
So
what are
I've done a couple of things. Like, I mean, a powerful morning routine, like what it should do first and foremost, it should generate energy,
Mhm.
right? You want to stimulate yourself mentally, okay? You want to be able to be in control of your day. You want to show up to work with intention. Okay, so when you're thinking about all these things, like what can you do? What time do you need to get up? What do you need to do from the moment you get up until you shower, till you get dressed, you get in the office? What do you do in that time that's going to put you in the best position to have a powerful day and be
Yes.
able to accomplish the goals that you want? Those are the kind of things that you need to be thinking about when forming a morning routine, or forming an intentional morning routine, I should say.
Yes. Yeah. It kind of goes back to what's working, what works. Like everybody should ask yourself, what works in your business? Like when and in context of what Abe is saying, it's like, okay, in the area of feeling alive, and full of energy in the morning, how do you create that for yourself? Do you feel alive and like tons of energy by just rolling out of the bed, hitting the snooze, and kind of like getting to the office whenever you get there and not exercising? Does that give you energy? I say that because I can't imagine it does, but maybe somebody may actually be answering right now as if it does. But most of us would say no. And then then the question would be, well, what works in the area of giving you energy first thing in the morning so you're sharp when you start off your day? Make that your routine. Make that your routine. A routine is something that's done consistently day in and day out, every single day. So when you talk about powerful morning routine, what makes a powerful morning routine, generating, doing something physical. I mean, that's so, I mean, how critical is that for you, Abe? I mean, I don't even, like, people don't grasp how important that is. People say, well, Greg, how do you help so many agents become top producers? I'm like, well, I have them generate energy in the morning. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm talking about real estate. I help them generate energy in the morning. No, but what do you tell them in real estate to generate energy in the morning? Because whatever I tell them to do in the area of real estate, if they have energy in the morning when I'm telling them, they actually execute. If they don't, they don't. So what does it matter what I tell them if they don't have the energy to actually execute it, or the desire, or the motivation? So this morning routine around, physical, mental exercising of some sort, it is a bigger deal than you believe. I mean, like, why in the world would I continue to preach it for so many years? I mean, should I even care whether or not another person exercises or not? I do care, but the reality is it probably doesn't make a difference to my life, but it sure does make a difference to theirs. And that's my job as a coach.
Yeah, there's no question. I've tried to trick myself many times. I'm like, okay, you know what? I can get away without exercising. And if I got a good night's sleep, if I slept an extra 2 hours, I can be just as powerful, just as productive. Never works. It never works. There's nothing like getting out of bed and then going straight into a run, or straight into a workout, and getting just the blood flowing, getting the energy going.
Yes.
So it's important. And if you're not doing it out there, look, it could be any form of exercise. It doesn't matter. It could be walking. It could be, my wife started doing Tai Chi. It could be yoga. It could be whatever. But something, you've got to get the joints going. You got to get the muscles moving, and get
Yes.
the blood flowing.
Yeah.
So we listed 7 things that make a powerful morning routine. I'd like to go through those real quick, Greg.
Okay, let's do it.
First one, and this is important. This is really important. Like, there's a lot of benefits to this. Number one, above and beyond having a powerful routine, and actually there's a lot of benefits: physically, mentally, emotionally.
Yeah.
Waking up at the same exact time every single day is huge. That's where it starts. And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people just fluctuate, depending, they'll just kind of wake up whenever they do. But there's studies out there that I've read over and over where it shows waking up at the same exact time has huge impacts across your entire life. So I think it's got to start there, Greg. Pick a time. Doesn't matter what time it is. For you and I, it's early. Some people, you don't have to wake up early. You could be 6, it could be 4:30, it could be 7, whatever your number is, pick a number, but make it the same every single day.
Yeah. Consistency, right?
Consistency.
And I think what ends up happening is when and I don't know the science behind it, but when it is the same time every day and it's consistent, your body adapts. Your body adapts. And like over time, your body and mind won't resist. It'll be like, okay, this is our routine. Let's go get it going. Let's go get going. Let's do this. That's what ends up happening.
We got a question real quick, Greg.
Yeah.
Can a powerful afternoon routine be as effective as a morning routine, if not more powerful?
I'm just going to say, I'm going to say this. I'll say it this way. First of all, I love the question. Michael Jordan and every other legend that we know in every walk of life, their powerful routines were morning routines. Morning routine is not significant about morning. It's a pre-game routine. See, there needs to be a pre-game routine. We call it the morning routine because we start our day in the office by 8 o'clock. So a pre-game routine would be before 8 o'clock. The game is during the day, which is like our 8 to 11 generation time and the time that we work after 11. And then the post game would be what we do, a routine that we do after the game. So for us, we believe the morning routine is the pre-game routine, and you wouldn't do your pre-game routine after the game's already over. Hopefully that will
let me answer that as well. My opinion on this is the answer in a short answer is yes, it could be. Like you can have a very powerful afternoon routine and it could be more powerful than a morning routine. The challenge I see with that is consistency.
Yeah.
That's like running a marathon and saying, okay, well, the first 10 miles, I'm going to just walk it real slow, but then I'm going to pick up the pace the second half of the marathon and make up the difference. Can I finish the marathon quicker? Possibly. Right. But there's nothing like starting off with a good start and then you build momentum. So if your morning routine is weak, so many times it's going to get you off track and it'll impact the afternoon routine. So I think it's got to start from the moment you wake up.
Yeah, that's a good reference, Abe. The other thing people ask me all the time, well, don't you think more people would answer the phone if we called in the evening? And I would say, yeah. Mm-hmm. A calling routine, if you're calling through your database in the evening, you'll probably get more pickups than if you call them at 8 in the morning. But if I took a whole year and you told me you're going to commit to making calls in the evening versus somebody that gave me a commitment to make calls in the morning, the person who got it done in the morning would actually complete more days prospected than the people that actually just focused on doing it in the evening. So they may make more contacts per day worked in the evening, but because they work so many less days, the person who actually consistently did it in the morning made more contacts in the year. I've always got that type of question regarding around lead generation, and that's what we've figured out is it's the later it, like Abe says, the later in the day that it is, the less likely that it's going to happen because of interruptions and distractions.
That's a great example. Give me someone that prospects in the morning against someone that prospects in the afternoon for a whole year. I'll take the morning guy every single time.
Every day.
Less distractions.
Yeah.
Happy hour happens. People call you. Let's go do this. Let's run. Let's do something. The distractions happen all the time.
None of my friends call me to go on the boat at 8 o'clock in the morning. They all call around 2.
Yep. All right. So the first one's waking up at the same exact time every single day. Number 2, right off the bat, doing something physical. Mm. And again, you choose whatever you want it to be, whatever you enjoy doing. It could be walking. It could be running. It could be weightlifting. Anything that you want. But wake up and make that the first thing that you do every single morning to start your routine. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And then I would say, let's add to that list, because, there's a list, I think about 7, is do something physical, do something mental. Mm-hmm. This morning I was listening to some YouTube videos on, on the topic of selling real estate, believe it or not. Because I just love to hear, even there's all kinds of people that are talking on YouTube, right? Sometimes I don't really agree what they say with some of the things that people say. But just having that stimulate my mind, getting me in the mindset of like, hey, I'm getting ready to go and take some listings or coach some real estate agents, whatever I might be doing, to talk to some buyer leads. So I'm already getting into that conversation. Just like I talk about Michael Jordan pregame routine. One of the things that he did is he would shoot free throws. He would shoot 3-pointers. He would dunk. He would drive the ball. He would practice dribbling. He would just fully immerse himself into the game physically and mentally. Now, you don't have to take a lot of time. One thing that you can do for mental is just like listening to something, that motivates you. Maybe it's a 2-minute video. Maybe it's reading some affirmations. Maybe it's reading a few pages of the Bible. Whatever it is that is important to you, those are the types of things. So we're not talking about taking hours. It's just put yourself in a more positive state of mind.
You can actually combine those two. Like I do 2 and 3 together. So while I'm running, I'll listen to an audiobook or I'll listen to a motivational podcast or something like that. So I'll combine the two. Number 4, doing something spiritual with some gratitude in it. And this doesn't have to take long. If you want to do a prayer in the morning, if you want to say, affirmations, just something to kind of slow you down a little bit, get grounded before you start your day. I think is important to do. So that would be number 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then number 5, I kind of like said this, and that is, putting yourself in the right state of mind. And I think if we look at like the morning routine before you get to the office, if you look at that pregame routine, if I was to kind of sum it up and say, what is my intention for having a routine, the pregame routine, the morning routine, it's to get me in the right state of mind. It's to put me, if you've ever been around Mike Ferry or Tom Ferry, they'll sometimes in their room, if you're ever in an event, they'll tell you to put your hands together and do this, and then they'll say something like, "You're Bruce Lee." And if you're an old timer with them, you'll know what that means. As soon as they say, "You're Bruce Lee," go, "Ha!" And all that is to put you in a state of mind. To get us like kind of like pumped up, get us motivated, get us like, let's cleanse ourselves from all these problems and challenges and issues that we've got going on. And let's get ourselves in a clear, motivated state of mind. And from that state of mind, go make your first phone call. Change the result.
Talking about state, I love when Tony Robbins talks about, he said, your physiology dictates your psychology. Motion dictates emotion. And a lot of people have that backwards. A lot of people are like, well, I don't feel good today. I don't feel right. Or I'm just not in the mood. If you got up and actually just started doing something physically, that changes your mood. So it's for those times where you just don't feel like getting out of bed, get up there and do something physical and watch how your attitude changes, your mind changes, all that stuff. So getting in the state is critical.
Yes.
Number 6, just like waking up on time, get to the office at the same exact time every single day. Greg, it's like clockwork, our office. When I pull into the office, I know which cars are already going to be there.
Yes, I know where you're going to be parked. I know you're going to be backed in.
Same parking spots, the same time, the same people show up, and you'll see the consistency in the numbers that those agents produce.
Yes.
Time after time after time. So pick that time that you want to be there, get there at the same exact time. Now you've seen a pattern here, right? There's nothing that's happened by accident here. Everything has happened deliberate. The moment you woke up, what exercise you did, what you did for mental and psychological, what you did for spiritual, got yourself a state, showed up to work. Everything so far has been exactly the way you planned it to be.
Yes. The last one that I would say is be intentional about your day. I mean, I have like all these little cards. They're kind of like a card stock. And just about every day, if not, I take a little notepad and I actually write down a few intentions for my day. And my intentions are not like to necessarily to get a listing. It's more of like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be very intentional about like things that I'm going to get done. Not a to-do list. I mean, and not that I'm against to-do lists, but that's just not what I'm referring to, because my to-do list would have hundreds of items on it. But it's things that I am committed to getting this done or accomplishing this by the time I quit for the day. Be intentional. Whether it's like, sometimes it's like I'm going to make sure I call every person that has a past due, like in my calendar. Like I pass, like it's 2 days late or something like that. And I notice, gosh, I'm supposed to call them 2 days ago. Sometimes my intention is to clear every single one of those out by the end of the day. And have an intention. So if you'll go through this routine and you'll be clear on what it is you want to accomplish, you'll accomplish more in less time than if you don't follow these patterns or these rules. And Abe, I think this is what's missing in a lot of coaching. Like, we could get, look, this is one of the hardest coaching calls to do, Abe. And the reason why this is so hard is because we know people are tuning us out. If I actually created a coaching title and instead it says your morning routine helping you, if I created a title that says 3 ways you're guaranteed to get listings without having to work, we'd have way more people listening to this video. But the people that listen to the video and actually listen to our ideas wouldn't execute them. You just have a lot more people listening that wouldn't execute. But this is the type of information that is, to me, the game changer. This is the X factor in the business. Knowing how to call your buyer leads in your CRM, the Real Geek CRM, that's easy stuff. Every coach can share that bit of information with you. But what coach can get you to do it day in and day out? It'll be the coach that convinces you of the morning routine. See, there's coaches out there that want to be popular, and then there's us that just want to be effective. We could care about less about the popularity. We want to be effective. And that's why with Real Geeks and us, we have decided, hey, look, let's not just throw out coaching conversations just so we can throw out noise. Let's make sure that when we're sharing information with you, we know that if you will listen and actually follow, just do a few of these things that we talked about, we know that it'll be effective in your business. So I plead, beg, whatever, manipulate, whatever I got to say, to get you to at least attempt it. Go out there and attempt it and see what happens in your business.
Yeah, absolutely. And to me, you do these 7 things and now you've started your day, you've got a high probability of having a successful day. Just going through this process every single day. Really, I mean, Greg, there's been many times where with you or I or both sometimes just stop after 11 o'clock and call it a day.
Yeah.
Right. Because we went through this whole routine. We generated from 8 to 11. We strategic, like even when we're generating, like for me, I have a lead progression sheet. So I know exactly who I'm calling at one time. And I just go through that sheet. There is no downtime. There is no wasted time. There's no inefficiencies. Yeah. There's no, okay, who am I calling next? And then come 11, I've accomplished a lot from 4:30 in the morning when I woke up until 11 o'clock. And many times you can just call it a day if you wanted to, right? Yeah. But that 4:30 to 11, though, I never, ever sacrifice because that's what kicks off the day for me.
Absolutely.
So we just urge you to just give it a shot if you haven't been doing that. If you have, then great job.
All right, man. Well, hey, good. Thank you for joining me again. For those of you that are listen to us on routine every Tuesday, we will see you next Tuesday. And if I see any comments or whatnot, questions in the comment section, we'll definitely address those throughout the week. All right, Abe. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Greg.
Bye.
Thank you all for watching.